Global happenings today. We communicate, we analyze global news. Stay tuned.
Hello, beautiful people. Welcome back to Global Happenings Today YouTube channel. Having concluded the World Press Conference made by Peter Obi, apparently all is not off yet for Bola Ahmed Tinubu. In fact, it looks as if it is just about to begin. Well, for some of us who do not know, sooner than we think, the Supreme Court will begin their proceedings. We're going to give you the highlight of the processes that are going on behind the scene in a moment. And of course, the fact that Nigerians, human rights activists are beginning to write to ECOWAS over Bola Ahmed Tinubu, the identity issue, and of course the Chicago State University saga, all of them wrapped into one. It looks like Nigerians are not letting go. They are everywhere dragging him. Let's go straight into the news and find out the Supreme Court update and when all this whole drama will begin. Now, according to the news, respondents, which still remains INEC, Tinubu, Shettima, and APC. If you have been following our network, our platform, you will understand that during the PPC update, these are some of the terms we use. Now, let's continue. The respondents still remains INEC, Tinubu, Shettima, and APC. They have all filed their briefs of argument in response to Labour Party and Peter Obi's appeal at the Supreme Court. Now, their responses were all filed on the 9th of October 2023. Then Labour Party will file a reply to them all within the 3 days after the service, of course. Also, the second and the third respondent still remains Tinubu, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, and Shettima's counsel filed the preliminary objection. The stuff have not started. They've started filing preliminary objection, but let's continue. This will also be replied by the Labour Party and Peter Obi's legal team. After these replies, then we'll be expecting a date for court appearances for the parties involved to hear motions and adopt processes. These are always preliminaries before the main Supreme Court case saga that will begin in a moment. Okay, well, let's find out really. We'll keep the date with us as we keep going through, as we give you highlights on how the Supreme Court verdict will go whenever it will begin. But let's find out what's going on with Bola Ahmed Tinubu's position as the chairman of ECOWAS. Now, according to the news, a former Deputy National Publicity Secretary of the All Progressive Congress APC, Comrade Timmy Frank, has called on the authority of the heads of state and the government of the Economic Community of West African States, ECOWAS, to sack President Bola Ahmed Tinubu as its chairman. Now, Frank, who made this call in a statement in Abuja on Tuesday, claimed President Tinubu lost legitimacy following the discovery that he forged the Chicago State University CSU certificate he filed with the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, to contest the 2023 presidential election in Nigeria. He said, and I quote, if ECOWAS must remain relevant and retain its credibility and respect among member states, especially in dealing with military junta now spreading fast like a pandemic across the sub-region, it must act fast to protect its integrity. He equally called on past and present presidents of member states of ECOWAS to prevail on the sub-regional body to do the right thing by appointing another chairman in acting capacity pending ratification during the next ordinary session of the Authority of Heads of State and Government of ECOWAS. He said failure to act timeously would put the regional body in a lame duck position where all decisions reached during the tenure of Tinubu will not be respected and therefore null and void. He called on the leadership of the military juntas in Burkina Faso, Guinea, Mali, and Niger Republic not to have any dealings, discussions, or negotiation with the Tinubu-led ECOWAS until the president is removed as his chairman. He also urged the authorities of the ECOWAS not to be deceived by the appointment and secondment of broadcast journalist and Channels television reporter Mrs. Linda Nwabuwa Ahigbe to serve as communications advisor to the ECOWAS Commission President Dr. Omar Aliu Torre in Abuja. This is a great gift, therefore, the Commission should be aware, he said. He also didn't stop there. He alleged that the Tinubu administration, in one breath, persecutes the media with recent NBC's last warning letter to Arise Television, and on another hand, it bribes them with generous appointments and paid advertisements, as recently collaborated by former Governor Nyesom Wike, who is the Minister of Federal Capital Territory FCT Abuja. He also called on the National Assembly to defend the nation's constitution, democracy and rule of law by urgently commencing impeachment proceedings against Tinubu over alleged gross violation of the constitution. He insisted that the National Assembly cannot afford to stay aloof while the nation was crumbling under illegalities and breach of constitution committed by Tinubu as contained in the sworn deposition by the Chicago State University authorities. He said, and I quote, "The National Assembly, like Noro, cannot afford to fiddle while Rome, Nigeria, burns, otherwise they would become guilty of conspiracy of silence and willing accomplices to the unraveling of democracy in Nigeria. A breach of the constitution by the sitting president is an impeachable offense. We are calling on the National Assembly, the Senate and the House of Representatives to wake up and defend the constitution. This is the time for them to uphold the law and constitution of the land. This is the time they must display patriotism, irrespective of party affiliation, by urgently commencing impeachment processes or proceedings against the president. This is not all about party membership. It's all about sustaining our democracy and ensuring peace, security, and development of the country. Nigerians expect them to exercise their constitutional powers to do the right thing if they are truly the elected representatives of the people. Otherwise, Tinubu's stay in office will continue to bring national disgrace and embarrassment to Nigerians both home and abroad, and equally chase away foreign investors from doing business in Nigeria, because no foreign investor will come to Nigeria to invest while it remains under the president tainted with legitimacy. Now, he also went further to say he insisted that the president's forgery saga was already making life difficult and creating hard times for Nigerians abroad who are seeking for jobs, as their certificates are now being subjected to thorough scrutiny to ensure they are not fake. The Biafra state-born political activist also called on the Supreme Court of Nigeria to handle the presidential election petition appeal before it with the fear of God and national interest in order to safeguard the nation's democracy. He said, and I quote, "We believe that the Supreme Court must not be biased and must do everything to protect our democracy. The world is watching to see if they will uphold the principles of true justice in the manner they will handle this case of perjury or lying under oath by Tinubu." Now, according to him, the Chief Justice of Nigeria, CJN Justice Olukayode Ariwoola, recently said the judiciary does not base its decision on sentiment or public opinion in deciding cases, but on the Constitution. Several vitriolic attacks are regularly heaped on the judiciary. It is, however, crystal clear that public opinions, no matter how serious or weighty it may be, cannot override or supersede the constitution of the country, which we apply in deciding each case, the CJN said after swearing in 23 newly appointed judges of the Federal High Court in Abuja. Frank added, "We now have a clear case of breach of the constitution by a president who submitted a false certificate to INEC contrary to section 137, subsection 1J of the Constitution, which stipulates that a person shall not be qualified for election to be the office of president if he has presented a false certificate to the Independent National Electoral Commission. We expect the CJN and other Supreme Court justices to courageously uphold the Constitution by ensuring that a confirmed lawbreaker is now retained as the President and the Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of Nigeria." This is coming from TB Frank, and it's literally calling on all and sundry to do the needful. The question is, what is the needful? And how does he intend to achieve them to do this needful, especially when it comes to the issue of National Assembly, impeaching a sitting president on this matter? Let's put in our comment section what's your take on all this drama unfolding.